Hi, this is Gayle with BERNINA of Naperville, and welcome to another session of our Kimberbell Society. So this month we're going to be making an embroidered tote bag, but it's not just any embroidered tote bag. It has some cool 3D effects. We're working with some vinyl, so you'll get to use a Teflon foot from BERNINA. I used that number 53 Teflon straight stitch foot, and you'll get to play with some decorative stitches to attach the trim. So just like every other month, let's talk a little bit about housekeeping and downloading your files from Kimberbell. So just remember that we always put our own BERNINA of Naperville instructions in addition to the Kimberbell ones you're going to get in the design file packet. And you can find this information, since we do premiere this live on our YouTube channel. We put the handout right in the descriptions of this video. We also put it on our website, but we don't always get to do that until after it premieres, so bear with us. But if you go into the description of the video, you'll find this PDF. And the Kimberbell Beach Tote, we give you the instructions. We have links to it. So for instance, if you've never participated in this before, you can click right on your PDF digitally to the buy it here, and you're going to be purchasing the July kit. Now the July kit is kind of a big one. You'll see me show the contents in just a moment, but it is pretty fun. And if you have the threads, or if you need the threads, we also have links for you to get exactly the threads that we used. But you know, this isn't, you can get your own threads. But what I want to explain to you is that although you are buying the designs and the kits from BERNINA of Naperville, the digital embroidery files and Kimberbell instruction PDF are going to be emailed to you by Kimberbell direct. So let's have a look at how this is done. So once you purchase your kit from us, you're going to receive a kit in the mail from BERNINA of Naperville, but there's a digital downloadable file that comes from Kimberbell. And so what I want to remind you is that this email doesn't say, hey, congratulations, you ordered something from BERNINA of Naperville. Here is your design for April. It doesn't say that. It comes from Kimberbell, and it'll say something like, reminder, you have received a digital dealer exclusive product, or it's going to say something like that. So go ahead and click on that, and then you're going to scroll down, and in my case it says Taco Cord Organizer. Don't get excited. This is just something that I need because we're going to make this one day, right? But you're going to scroll down and you're going to just download now. So I'm going to click that button that says download now. And I download a lot of stuff. You can see all my stuff down here. But I have to create a Kimberbell login and password. But I want you to please note that this Gayle at BERNINAofNaperville.com, I can't use this because this is my business email for them. I'm actually creating an account like you're going to create an account with the email address that you want to receive your files. Whatever email address you've provided BERNINA of Naperville, we are going to provide Kimberbell to get your designs. You also have to have a login generated with Kimberbell. So if you need to create an account, if you've never ordered anything from Kimberbell before and that kind of thing, you're going to create a new account by clicking here. And you're going to give your email address, you're going to do a password, confirm the password, and you're going to consent to receive updates and emails if you want, and also text messages if you choose to go that route. Now, if you already have an account with them, like I have a personal account with Kimberbell, you're going to make sure you enter that information in, type in your password, and then log in. And then once you log in, you can see the latest downloads or the oldest and all of that, but we can see the brand new one here is this particular design, and I'm just going to download it. And while it downloads, it's going to download into my downloads folder. It's coming in there, and it comes in zipped. And so once it's downloaded, I can go to my downloads folder, and you can see there's our download folder, and I'm just going to take this and I'm right-clicking to make a copy, And then I'm going to put it in my embroidery designs folder. And I'm going to make a folder here called Kimberbell. And you can put your file wherever you would like to keep it on your computer. And now I'm going to paste this. And now there's my design. Now you'll notice that this folder has a little zipper on it. I can't just use these files. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to extract. And I'm going to extract it right to this folder. And then what happens is I get another folder that doesn't have a zipper on it. So I'm going to select, once I extract it and get that regular folder out of there, I'm going to click this zippered folder and delete it. And now I can access this file and get my designs out of there. And once you extract those files, it's easy this month to put them on a USB stick. All you're going to do is put a USB stick in your computer, and you're going to, if you're using a Bernina and you don't want to resize or do anything like that, which we're not, we don't even need to use software, you're just going to take this file, click on it, right click, and you can either send it to your stick or you can make a copy. Then you go down to the USB stick, insert it in your computer, and you're just going to double click it, and you're going to right click and paste. That's what that little icon is there. And you might even want to name this Kimberbell June 2023. And if you don't know how to rename something, you just click and then click again. Don't double click, you just 2 clicks very slowly, and see how that turns blue, and that allows you to write whatever you want to name it. And now they're on my USB stick and I can take that over to my machine. The kit that you're getting this month is just packed with treasures. So the first thing we're going to start with are all the little bitty bits that are going to go on this tote bag, which is included as well. So the first thing is the sun is made from this little fat eighth here. And this is cute. We packed this Crystal Watson fabric. So you're going to use that, and you have a little bit extra if you wanted to use it for something else down the road. Then we have the palm leaves, which are out of the embroiderable glitter. This is a Kimberbell product. Then we have the iridescent mylar, and the iridescent mylar is going to go on top for the waves. So hopefully you'll like working with that. It's kind of fun. Then we have the gingerbread color felt, and this is going to be the sand on the beach. And then no sand on a beach would be complete without some pink applique glitter. And so those are for the starfish that go down there. And then we're going to have some flex foam here, and this is just to give the sun some padding. There's also going to be ribbon trim, which is this stuff here. And then our stabilizer this time is going to be Aqua Mesh Plus. And Aqua Mesh Plus is a water-soluble stabilizer that happens to have a glossy back on it because that's the paper. So we're going to learn how to hoop this up and perforate the paper and peel it right off so we can stick our bag into position. So let's get a gander at this bag. It's huge. You're absolutely gonna love it. And then finally, you're getting a whole roll of teal embroidery vinyl, which is what goes on the bottom of the bag right here. So now, to get started, it's advised by Kimberbell that you wash and dry completely your tote bag. So make sure that you want to do that, because if you're carrying this to the beach and everything, you want to get that sand out of there, right, if you use it. So make sure that you do that. But then we're going to hoop up this stabilizer. As you can see, it's a little bit of a tight fit, but don't worry, this is perfectly enough to do this bag. So now that we have this into position, we're going to score along here, and I like to use my sharp stiletto. Before we actually press the play button on our embroidery machine, we have to talk about the designs and the color changes. We're using a selection of isocord thread this month, and there's quite a few color changes with this, so you might want to make sure that you assign the right colors to the design, and I'm going to do that right on my sewing machine. But we also have another file that we need to load for centering, and that doesn't matter what color you use for that. So let's have a look at changing the colors first, and then we'll get ready to stitch out. All right, once you have your designs loaded onto a USB stick, you're going to access the stick by putting it in your machine. And then I put mine in a Kimberbell July 2023 folder on this USB stick. You can see how it presents there. So I'm just going to click that folder, and now I have 3 designs. The centering design is what we're going to need to just stitch the center of our hoop. That's going to help us with placement when we put this design on the bag. However, there are 2 other designs that are identical. The first one is for a 5x7 hoop like this Bernina large oval hoop, but we are actually going to be using the larger version, which fits within the medium clamp hoop, or in our case, I'm using the maxi hoop. And now it's time to change the colors. So on my Bernina 735 that I'm using today, I am going to click on this little artist palette, and I'm going to just evaluate what these different colors are and change them accordingly. So the first color that we're going to change is color number 1, and that is simple. It's going to be a white color, and we're working from the isocord thread chart. So the first thing that I want to do is switch ahead here to isocord. There we go. And then we'll dial this up. It's 0003. And then subsequently, this color is also going to be white. And we're going to do white for just the top 4 colors. I notice every time I select it, I go back up here in breadcrumbs to this artist palette. All right, so colors 1 through 4 are white. Then color number 5 is going to be this yellow color, which is citrus. And then color number 6 is also citrus. And color number 7 is going to be this, it's kind of a taupey color, but the color is called Peru. And we're going to be using this one again later. And now color number 8, 9, and 10 are this is the celery color, which is 5832. Oops, and I just changed color number 7 by accident. So let's go back and do that one again. There we go. All right. Now colors number 8, 9, and 10. Then color number 11 is going to be a light blue, which is 4952. And then also 12 and 13 is 4952. Color number 14 is going to be 4531. And also color number 15 is 4531. Then color number 16 is 4610. And color number 17 and 18 and 19 is that 1133 Peru color again. And then colors number 20 is 2320. And color number 21 is 2320. Now let's go back to edit, and there you can see the changes that we made. And now I recommend that you save this back onto your stick, but this time we're saving it in those nice colors. And now we're ready to stitch it out. So we're going to select that first design because it's going to put a little X mark right in the center of our hoop. So we're going to stitch this with dark thread that we can clearly see. Then we're going to take our bag and we're going to open it out like this and fold it in half, like I'd like to say, hot dog style. And another thing that we could do, and I'm going to do this, I don't know about you guys, is I'm going to give this a little crease like this, but then I'm going to mark it with this special wax pencil. And although I have like the world's fanciest iron, I'm just creasing this along the edge there with my ruler. Then I'm going to take my wax pencil and I'm going to mark, according to the Kimberbell instructions, we're going to mark 6.5 inches down from the top of the bag, just like this. And I'm going to mark the other side as well. 6.5 inches. And now, just for good measure, I'm going to take my ruler and make a line that I can easily see down this piece. Now, this wax pen or pencil, oopsie daisies, it sharpens just like those old, like pencils that your teacher might have used. But one of the things that I like about this is it comes right off. And the way you get it off is just with a dry iron. You don't have to, please don't use steam. That kind of keeps it a little waxy. But if you just use a dry iron, it comes right off. It's like magic. So now I'm going to take my ruler and connect my lines that I made that are 6.5 inches down from this. And also be mindful that if you are using the smaller design, there's a different measurement, but we're using 6.5. So now to place this onto our hoop, so we're going to fold it in half so it's folded right on that line we made. And then we're going to fold this up like this, like that. So once you have your hoop on your machine, you're going to take those folded edges and place it right in a quadrant like this. And, flatten it good on that sticky part of the stabilizer. Then gently bring the other side over and flatten that down. And now this top folded edge should be lined up. And then once that's in place, you're going to slip the top half of the bag and line that up just so. And now we are just about ready to stitch, but you know me, I like to double check. And sometimes that's when I might still use my pinpoint placement feature to kind of just make sure that indeed everything's starting in the center. And it looks pretty good to me. What I'm going to do is select basting feature on my machine and go for this. So now we're going to place a circle, and there's a little stitchy file, and we're going to stitch this circle so that we know where to place our foam flex. And just, please be careful and tape this down with your expert tape. We know what happens if we don't use that, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? This thing will kind of just wiggle all over the place, right? So once you get that down there, then we're going to stitch. And you're going to get yourself a nice sharp pair of scissors to cut this, because this foam is kind of really weird. So of course I like to use my curved Karen K Buckley Perfect scissors to do this. And if you don't get every last little morsel around this thing, that's okay. And then it gives it that nice little poof. Then you're gonna place that square of yellow sunshiny fabric down. Once again, using your expert tape. Here's an inside secret. I'm using my leftover tape from the other piece I just taped down. And so now we're gonna stitch that around. We're gonna trim again. You might not be as fast as trimming as me, but you know. Then once we do that, it's time to do the cover stitch. And now, ta-da, bada bing, bada boom, we're gonna do the satin stitch around that circle and then just move on to the tree. And the tree trunk is that Peru color. I think it looks like a palm tree color. I mean, I did have a lot of experience looking at palm trees when I was in Florida last year. All right, so now we're doing a placement stitch, and this is where we're gonna put down our green glitter. So it doesn't really matter what color you stitch this one out in. I just kept that Peru color in there. But now we're going to take the green glitter, and don't forget to peel the protective tape off of this, because that applique glitter is way thinner than what you think it might be if you keep that plastic film on there. So then you're gonna just simply put that in place. Use expert tape if you need to, but I'm just gonna skip that. Oh no, here I come. We're gonna tape that down and then push the old go button after we thread our machine with the green color to match our palm tree. But this is gonna be a tack down stitch and not a cover stitch. So this tack down stitch is gonna stitch in a totally matching thread. And once you get that threaded up, bada bing, bada boom, you're gonna stitch it out. And then once again, after the stitch is out, you're gonna go really close to the edge with your sharp Karen K. Buckley Perfect Scissors or other scissors that you enjoy, and stitch right around this green line that you see there. And what's nice is these designs are stitching around twice, so if you accidentally snip something you're not supposed to, you have a little fail safe there. And then the cover stitch on this is not a satin stitch. It's kind of like this little star stitch. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with your machine. Don't adjust your television set. Then boom, you'll easily go over to this Mylar section where you'll do a placement stitch, put the Mylar down. But the big difference here with this section is it's got multiple different colors on it and everything, but you're not going to trim the Mylar away until you get all the fill stitches covered. Then finally, you're going to go over that with the satin stitching. And I was really amazed with the fact that that Mylar looks kind of pink, but when we place all this blue on it with the gray bag and everything, it has just a wonderful luster. So now once again, here we go with the placement stitch. This one is for the sand on the beach. That's that gingerbread color felt. So we're gonna go ahead and just stitch that down, then place the gingerbread felt in place, stitch again. And then in this case, it's doing kind of like a triple stitch rather than the 2 stitches around. So this one takes a little bit longer to stitch. And you might be wondering why it does this. And that's because there's not a cover stitch on our beach. So it's doing this triple stitch, and when we trim, we're gonna leave a little bit of a lip, about 1/8 of an inch away from the stitching line. We're gonna leave because it's more of a raw edge applique type of look on this beach. Once again with the scissors. And then we're going to do our little placement stitches for our sparkly starfish. And these sparkly starfish are done in our pink glitter, but first we need to know where to put them. And I put that down, there it is. And then we're gonna stitch that one down, and then we're gonna stitch this other piece. And then of course we trimmed, and then we stitched our shells. Once you get the embroidery done, you're gonna take your ruler and measure 4 inches on either side of the bottom crease of the bag. And this is where we are ultimately gonna put our vinyl. Now, the cool thing about this is the vinyl is exactly 8 inches wide. So all we need to do is take that roll of vinyl that came in your kit, unroll it, and place it in between these two lines. When I take it out of the tube, I like to kind of twist it so that it makes it narrower and it just pulls right out. Otherwise, you could be there all day because this stuff is a little sticky. And see, look how perfect that looks. All right, so I'm gonna just trim off the edge there so that it's nice and flush. And then you have like a little piece of vinyl you can keep for something else in the future. And then I matched my vinyl to my thread, which is 5115, an isocord. And then I'm gonna stitch this down. Now, some of you might have some challenges with this, so I'm using a straight stitch number 53 Teflon coated foot. And this is really going to glide right over this easily, but we want to protect the bottom of those Teflon feet with a sew off piece. So I have a little piece of fabric there that I'm putting under my foot, and now I'm just using the edge of this foot, and the right side of this foot is 1/8 of an inch, and so I'm just stitching 1/8 of an inch in on that vinyl. And when I get to the edge of this, I want to take my piece that I sewed off on and add it to the bottom again. And I'm not so good at remembering that, so just so you know, when you get to the edge like this, you're gonna stop. I should have put my piece on right before then, but that's okay. I'm gonna lift up my foot and protect it how I can. There we go. And now I'm gonna trim. And then there's the result. Very nice, smooth, even stitches that are achieved with that Teflon coated foot, number 53. And Bernina makes other versions of this foot as well. And just so you know, my foot, it made it unscathed. I don't see any little scratches on the bottom of it. So just be warned that when you pick up one of these feet, you want to make sure you protect it. And then Kimberbell instructions are telling us to measure like 1/4 of an inch down from here. So you can certainly do this if you choose. However, I have a different plan. You know, I actually am totally fine just putting this right on the very edge of the stitching line of this bag. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm actually going to stitch this down, not on both sides, but I'm going to do a decorative stitch right down the middle of this with a gray thread. So I'm carefully going to place our cute little crocheted edge trim right up against that seam line for the bag. And I'm centering my foot right in the center. And I'm going to be using stitch number 2019 on my Bernina 735, and this is a little boat anchor. Now, there were a few others that I could have chosen. There was one that was umbrella, and I really liked that. I thought it was cute, but I just decided to go with the boat anchor. And I have a little bump right here where this handle is, so I'm just going to move this down a little bit further. There we go. All right, this looks good. All right, so there's our cute little anchors away. And now I'm just going to repeat for the other piece of the trim on the other side of the bag. Once you've done your ribbon, you're just going to use your straight stitch to stitch your bag closed. And of course, there are those of you that are tote bag boxers, and there's those of you that are not. And what I mean by that, when we get to this bottom corner, once we've sewn our seam together like this, you can just leave it like this and turn it inside out, but there is a thing called boxing the corner of your bag, and that is where you take the bag bottom And you have your seam here, and you're going to kind of spread this open. So that your side seam is even with that seam at the bottom of the bag, and then you're going to stitch. And the Kimberbell instructions recommend 2 inches from the tip. So this is 2 inches, so our line is going to be right there. And you're going to back tack at the top here. And back tack at the bottom and cut. Now we'll repeat this process for the other side. Feels so good to be here at the beach. Got my little tote bag that I made, thank goodness, because it helped me carry all of my stuff. So let's see, I've got my ice cream cone, I've got my hat, I've got my sunglasses. All I need is like my SPF 3000, and you know, I'm ready. I'm ready for a day of fun in the sun. Oof, it's really hot out today. All right, that's enough. It's too hot. Oh, come on. I know that a day here at BERNINA of Naperville is no day at the beach, but I hope that you enjoyed making this super cute bag, and I hope you continue to participate in our Kimberbell Society because it's so much fun, and I know that all of you are just loving these little easy projects. So thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more tutorials or videos like this one, don't forget to check out our BERNINA of Naperville YouTube channel. It's easy. It's youtube.com/BERNINA of Naperville, and there you can like, comment, and subscribe. Sunglasses, ice cream, and sun hats are optional. Bye.